This is Beloit Memorial High School, just across the Wisconsin border and about a half-hour's drive north of Rockford, Illinois, where Phantom Regiment calls home. It's Thanksgiving weekend 2004, and more than 400 of the finest musicians from high schools and colleges throughout the United States and the world are here chasing a dream. They are auditioning for a chance to be a member of the legendary Phantom Regiment. It's Saturday morning, day 2 of the audition camp, and the wake-up bell rings at 8 a.m. Most of the kids get in line for breakfast, while some stay back for a few extra minutes of valuable rest. There's no rest for Pat Seidling, Corps Director of Phantom Regiment. Pat and his staff will be making dreams come true and breaking hearts by the time camp ends Sunday.
Well, here we are at Beloit Memorial High School, just over the Illinois-Wisconsin border on the Wisconsin side, and we're having our audition weekend to put together a drum corps for the 2005 season. This is going to be our 49th season as an organized drum corps, and you know, we started almost 50 years ago with a bunch of neighborhood kids getting ready to do parades, and right now what you see here is over 450 young people from all over the world, literally. We have people from Canada and Japan and Holland and England and about 42 different states from around the country as far away as Hawaii and Alaska. The color guards in here spinning flags, the brass are down in the other gym working on some stuff, the drummers are up the hallway, and every one of these kids is being pulled aside to do an individual audition as well. Gets a little tough, a lot of nerves here. We're going to let go about half of these people this weekend, and half we're going to ask back for the December camp, which is really a second round of auditions. And then when all said and done, we're going to carry about 160 up until what we call spring training in the summer, when school gets out and they all move in and we learn the act.
While some kids are chasing the dream, Frank Nedley from Texas has already lived it. Frank was a member of the drumline for Phantom Regiment in 2004, and with 1 year of eligibility left, Frank is here to audition for a spot again this year.
It's 8:40 Saturday morning at the first Phantom Regiment camp, and we're here ready to start the day. We're going to start in about 20 minutes, just hacking along, drumming, do what we do. We had a long meeting last night, discussed a lot of important things, went over last year's, critiquing how we did, what we need to do this year to make it better. Went over all the new staff. It's going to be real good this year.
After taking 2004 off from drum corps, Erin Jones is auditioning for Phantom Regiment for the first time.
My name's Erin Jones, and I'm a sophomore in college right now, and I go to Texas State University, which is in San Marcos. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I went to a lot of drum corps shows when I was in high school with my band, and ever since I was a freshman, I've been wanting to do it. And so I'd ask my parents if I could do it my freshman year, and they'd say, oh no, maybe next year. And then it came around to my senior year, and I just had had enough, and I decided that I really wanted to do it. It was something that I wanted to do, you know, before I die. So I went to the Santa Clara Vanguard in 2003 after I graduated. The camp is everything I expected that it would be and more. I got here and I'm a big emotional mess because I almost cried just thinking that I was finally back in it after taking a year off, and it's just amazing. The dance is amazing, and just everything is wonderful. It's everything that I expected and more. But sadly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back to subsequent camps because of the distance between Texas and where everything is going on here, and the financial things that go into that as well. My parents are very skeptical about me doing color guard in general, so they wouldn't pay for any portion of the tour fee, and being a student and having to pay car payments and things like that, it's just very difficult to be able to pull together money in order to fly in for camps or pay for gas to get up here from Texas. I'm pretty confident that things will be okay for me as far as, like, I don't think that'll affect my membership, but I wish I could be here, and it's sad to think that I won't be able to come back and spend with everybody again, and maybe because of that I'll be behind when move-in comes. So that's the only thing that's worrying me right now.
Sharon Underdahl is a high school student who is auditioning for drum corps color guard for the very first time.
I'm Sharon Underdahl from El Paso, Texas. I go to America's High School. I've been with them all 4 years. I've marched with them and I've done guard with them. I think what it takes to be a great color guard member is just the passion the feeling of everything you do on the field, because I know I love that feeling. That's why I don't want to stop. That's why I'm trying to join DCI. But I don't want to think negative. But if I don't make it, then I'll try again out next year.
The largest group of kids auditioning in camp and the area with the stiffest competition is the horn line. Arguably, there's no one in camp who wants to march for Phantom Regiment in 2005 more than tuba player Timothy Lee.
I go to college at Murray State University. It's a small college in western Kentucky. It's about 10 to 15,000 students. Phantom is one of my favorite drum corps, and it brought me up here because several people have recommended me come to this corps, and I've watched drum corps since I was 5 years old, you know, and I've just always loved it, and Phantom has been one of my favorite corps for several years. One thing I could bring to the Phantom Regiment is my tuba playing skills. I'm pretty confident that I'm a good tuba player, and I've marched for several years, and I've always wanted to do corps. Corps has been a part of my life, and watching performances, and I just want to be a part of that performance.
Day 2 of Phantom Regiment audition camp begins with warm-ups. Once everybody is warmed up, the individual instructors take over. It's their job to assess the talents of each individual person in camp. The overall success of the 2005 Phantom Regiment lies in the ability of these instructors to judge talent, desire, and potential, all in the span of roughly 2 days. For the instructors and the student musicians, it's probably one of the most intense and stressful times in their lives. For these kids, there's no second chance to make a good first impression, and tomorrow they'll know what kind of impression they made. It's Sunday in Beloit, the last day of auditions for Phantom Regiment. After breakfast and warm-ups, it's back to work for a few more hours of drumline, color guard, and horn line hopefuls. Despite the pressure to perform, spirits are running high as the camp draws to a close.
Woke up really early this morning and it was freezing cold in here. We were together all day today drumming, sounding really good, and we're going to be amazing this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This morning we woke up around 8 or so. We got in our line for breakfast, and we sat around and chatted with new people and met some new people and had some discussions and stuff.
I'm sore this morning, really sore from yesterday. I actually felt like I couldn't move this morning, but I got up and Michael James stressed us out, and it was just a nice warm up, and we stretched for like 15 minutes. Then we had a few minutes to go over all the equipment work and things like that, and everyone was just really kind of got a nervous feeling this morning because everyone's stressed out about auditions, but also like a lot of excitement's going on because everyone's all pumped up about like knowing whether or not they're in or out, and so good feelings overall.
The moment has arrived. Time to compare notes and handpick the girls who will be invited to the next color guard camp in December. The instructors comb through the headshots of each individual girl and debate the strengths and weaknesses of each one. Because the color guard is probably the most visible unit of Phantom Regiment on the field, careful consideration is taken to assemble the best group for next summer's guard.
Right now, I think everybody's done auditioning. I was in like the 4th group, but I haven't really been watching what's going on. But I think everybody's done, and right now we're just waiting for them to figure out what tier we're in, tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, and that's like if we made it, if we're coming to callbacks, or if we're cut.
Time for Pat Seidling to announce the cuts.
Please understand that this is the worst part of my life. And I know you've heard it, you don't want to hear all the crap, sad stories from me because it's your life. But honestly, my whole career is built on telling young people they can do stuff. Today, I have to tell a bunch of people they can't. Okay, Robin, and please go briskly and quietly. Robin Petkovsek, Beth Snodgrass, Denise Rangel, Jen Murtha, Bree Scott, Sarah Randant, Christina Zweig, Shannon Underdahl, Karen Garcia, Victoria Hanscom, Becky Mosier.
For Sharon and Aaron, it all comes down to this. They came all the way from Texas for the chance to march for one of the top 5 drum corps in the world. For 3 days, they slept on a cold gym floor, auditioned until their muscles ached, and if they hear their name announced, it will all be worth it. And then it happened, the moment Aaron will probably never forget.
Aaron Jones, Tara Lee Bryant, Katie Gallagher, Lindsay Brooks.
Oh gosh, it's so many mixed emotions right now. I just found out that I'm in tier 1/2. They grouped everybody together who was in tier 1 or 2 and told them that that was practically going to be the color guard for the next season. It was kind of sad to see some of the girls who were so nice to me end up in tier 3, but overall I was just really excited to be there with all those amazing girls.
Sharon Underdahl was one of those names called too.
I'm excited, so excited. I'm excited I can do backflips, excited.
Well, the girls that we made it, we said, hey, welcome. We're still going through another round of auditions, so you've got to stay on your game. You've got to stay physically in shape. You've got to rehearse and know that we're still looking for a more definitive set of girls. But short of that, it's time for them to be prepared to be in Phantom Regiment, get their money in order, get their winter schedule in order, get their life in order to make this a priority because the last 32 standing will be the color guard, and the opportunity is all theirs right now. You know, the girls that made it, first of all, we thanked them for coming out. I mean, there are so many other color guards they could have went for. There's so many other ways they could have spent their money on Thanksgiving weekend. So we sincerely thanked them for coming out. I let them know that, you know, if this is the worst thing that happens to them right now in their life, they're going to be fine. Also, they all intend to be professional performers eventually, dancers, musicians, or whatever. And letting them know this is part of showbiz, auditioning and sometimes making it and sometimes not. Hopefully they learn from the experience where they're prepared or where they're not, and are able to accept sometimes it doesn't go your way and learn from it.
Meanwhile, in the main gym, the brass instructors discuss who will be invited to the next camp and who will be told to try again next year. For first-timer Tim Lee, if he's nervous, he sure isn't showing it.
What's going through my head right now, I'm just not worrying about the results. You know, whatever happens, happens. If I make it, good. If I don't, there's always next year, you know?
Moments after addressing the color guard, Pat now assembles the Hornline hopefuls to deliver the good and bad news.
As you know, Phantom Regiment is very, very proud of its brass program. It's a legendary program. Someone once said I use the word legendary too much, but until you can find a different word, that's the word I use.
Will first time be the charm for Tim? Pat starts to announce names.
Jeremy Twiggs, Rachel Hine, Gavin Bristow, William Torres, Casey Van Bibber, Megan Ivers, Sydney Kelly, Lena Kapleen, Craig Klotz, Taylor Oakes, Augie Curtis, Catherine Garbasic, Dan Grass, Eric Clubb, Reed Pope, Drew Solemson, Casey Latinga, Matt Naylor.
When Pat calls out their name, the kids are to report to an adjacent hallway. One of the names not on Pat's list is Tim Lee.
They just called a few people outside to talk in the hall, and they're getting ready to give out results. But other than that, I don't know what's going on. I think they called the people out in the hall that got a definite spot, but I'm not really for sure right now.
Tim's instincts are right. The musicians assembled in the hallway is the group of horn players that will be asked back to the December camp. After Pat discusses a few important details with that group, Pat talks to those who did not make the cut.
I don't know to say other than I do feel terrible personally. You don't want to hear my problems, but like I say, my whole life is about telling young people they can do stuff, and today I have to tell you can't. I feel terrible.
More than 250 kids will be told today they aren't quite ready to march for Phantom Regiment in 2005. Despite the obvious disappointment and frustration, Tim takes it all in stride.
All right, they just let us know that we didn't make it, or whatever the group of people that were still left in here. And I'm getting ready to go look at my evaluation form. I'm sure it's because of my marching school, because I'm used to a different style and everything. So I'll think about coming back next year, and that's about it.
For those who did not make the cut, it's time to head home. For the lucky ones who are invited back to the December camp, there's still time to get a little work in before being dismissed. It's an awkward moment. The kids who worked so hard this weekend but weren't good enough to make the cut have to pack up their things and walk past the horn line as they fill the gym with sound. While it may look like a walk of shame, they truly have nothing to be ashamed of. The color guard gets in some more practice time before saying goodbye for a month. Now that Sharon has made it, what's next for her?
I want to try to go to the other camps so I can keep ahead and still be in this guard so no one can bump me out. That's going to be my thing.
Despite the obstacles ahead for her, Erin remains optimistic.
After this, I'm going back to school in Texas and finishing 2 art projects that I have to do by tomorrow, actually. And after that, try to get a job, work, earn some money towards the summer, try to get for some camps. Who knows? Just really try to juggle everything all at once and try to do the best I can to get here for the summer.
While Frank is almost guaranteed a spot on the drum line, he's looking forward to December camp.
The next step for me is to get on a plane and go back to Dallas, Texas, and hopefully not fail all my exams at UNT. Come back in 3 weeks here, and hopefully the line will be set by the end of that weekend.
So what about the ones that did not make the cut? They'll go back to school and finish up the fall semester. Some will audition for other drum corps, while others will work on their playing and marching skills and try for Phantom Regiment again next year. For Frank, Erin, and Sharon, they can breathe a sigh of relief. They have made it through audition camp for one of the most respected and revered drum corps in the world. The 2005 edition of Phantom Regiment is taking shape. But it's a long road ahead.
Thank you very much. It's 1:15. You are